The following podcast is scheduled for one fall. From the heart of Broadway and historic downtown Cape Girardeau, this is Pro Wrestling Unscripted. Wednesday, July 24th, and you are on Podzilla1985.com, maybe, or Spotify. I don't know. Wherever you're at, it's Pro Wrestling Unscripted. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to leave now. Shannon Young here with you.
Doing great.
I don't know why, but I just had the extreme urge to like moment of silence and let's get started, to just immediately just scream as loud as I could. I don't know why.
Legitimately, so we always talk about ghost hunting. I'm not afraid of ghosts, but I am afraid of screaming ghosts. I don't know why screaming ghosts scare the hell out of me. I think I said him Shannon Young. That's Asa Gray, the 5-star man down at the end of the table.
Yes.
Allie, not actually a bear.
Hello.
Sitting to the right of me.
Hello.
In a Lion King shirt.
Okay.
And the Big D Dalton Anthony.
Yo.
So earlier today, for about an hour before we closed, right before we did CCW Live with the wonderful Jeff Odell, Dalton put on Bar Rescue, and we watched a bit of it. And it's incredibly entertaining. Then we turned to Gordon Ramsay, same thing kind of, except for restaurants, and it was also incredibly entertaining. And then we had the bright idea that apparently Asa already had and tweeted about. And for those that have not seen that tweet or don't know, because this is probably something someone else has thought of before, sure, but I hadn't until recently. Asa, tell us what that idea is, because it is genius.
No, I want $1 million so I can start a TV show where we get brutal Bob Evans to travel the country, going to struggling indie wrestling promotions and like fixing them.
Yeah, turning them around, judging all the bad things that they do loudly, angrily.
See, and I don't know that much about Bob Evans.
He's very opinionated.
He's super opinionated, and he's also super smart.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he is the kind of person who would go in. I feel like he would if it was necessary.
Right.
But like to go in and just like kick someone's ass in like the way that you have to be able to do it specifically for TV.
Well,
like when you watch Gordon Ramsay do anything other than the shows that he has to be, like the giant over-the-top person,
he's nice.
A very sweet person.
Yeah. Well, even was it John Taffer is his name?
Yeah.
Tapper.
Even John Tapper, he is...
No, it's Taffer. It's
Yeah,
Taffer.
it's Taffer.
I think you're thinking of Jake Tapper.
Yeah,
Remember that drunk lady said JONTAFFER.
Save my bar.
Save my bar. That was after she said her ass had some hail damage.
Yeah, but her
boobs were great.
Yeah. Even he is like polite up to a point. Like he's kind of aggressive, but once dumb things happen, and I imagine Bob Evans would be the kind of person, or really anyone that's involved with professional wrestling, if they saw something incredibly unsafe, especially if it was like negligence, they would go into freak out mode and start tearing people apart.
Well, and like the idea that I had, which again, I'm sure a million people have had this, but the idea that I had isn't necessarily. It's not like he's not going to a backyard professional.
Yeah, he's going to like Stride, CCW, places like that.
Yeah, places that, are
established,
doing things and are established. It's just, if they're, not doing well, or if there is some shadiness there, he can kind of like root it out.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing that I would want to see, but that would be more of an investigative like Dateline show of just
like the seedy side of indie wrestling.
Yeah, of like, the shady promoters and stuff like that, like him calling them out, because the more that I do in wrestling, and like the more places that I go and the more people that I meet, there are a lot of very, very sweet, kind people in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of friggin' vultures out there too.
Yes.
That just should not be there.
Right.
So part of me wants to just be like, let's just cleanse. Let us purge the world.
Are you saying you would like to drain the swamp?
I'm going to kill you.
So you're saying you would like to create the next Purge. It's called Purge, Get in the Ring.
Purge Indie.
Purge, Indie Purge. I like it. I think that's a great show. Allie, and now would you direct?
Would I direct?
Yeah, you or your Aunt Peggy.
I don't have an Aunt Peggy.
And then the Clint Eastwood character would say... I'm sorry. I was going to do some King of the Hill stuff. Let's talk about wrestling more.
At all.
There was a King of the Hill episode featuring wrestling. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where Bobby had to wrestle Connie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Also, Macho Man was a voice actor.
oh my god, that was my favorite. That was one of my
the
favorite
episodes.
episodes.
Any time that King of the Hill did like a special sports episode, it was always a big name in that sport was in the voice actor. Dale Earnhardt Sr., he was in the NASCAR episode.
Sure is a pretty rope.
Yeah, that was his line.
But the best one
R.I.P.
was Macho Man. No agony, no braggony.
God,
God, I'm gonna go home and watch that episode now.
Rest in peace. Jesus, all the important sports figures in my life are gone.
Michael Jordan's still kicking.
I said in
No,
my life.
he was growing up when he was playing baseball.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
He knows him from Space Jam and Owning the Wizards.
And that meme.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And that gif where he's crying. The meme
Oh,
where
yeah.
he's crying and the gif where he says,
Because I
stop
was born
it.
in
get some help.
92, so like my first year of existence was right after his first title.
Chital?
Fuck you, sir. I used
right.
my one.
Let's talk one. One.
Chital.
Let's. Would you like to start with the Chinese?
It's a bit from one of the Gordon Ramsay
It is.
things. Let's we're gonna clear that up before that can be any speculated.
All right, let's start off. Asa, you had an interesting weekend. You went to St. Louis Anarchy for the first time.
Yes.
And you also went to a very special seminar. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So St. Louis Anarchy had their Circus Maximus show on this past Friday, and part of it is they were putting on a seminar. They hosted a seminar by AEW referee, Chikara referee, announcer. I'm blanking on the name of his title. Director of Fun.
Dalton, is this the same referee we see in the Being the Elite videos?
No, it's a different referee.
Okay.
This is the referee that he is. It was the guy that reffed Invisible Stan versus the Invisible Man.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
So Bryce Remsburg hosted a seminar for non-wrestling roles, and I wanted to I signed up for that pretty much. Like Louis was the one that pointed it out to us.
Yeah.
So I was super excited to do that. I'm gonna tattle on myself because I wanted to make a good impression. Like if I'm coming in and I'm representing CCW, like I want to be professional. I want to like impress people.
Yeah.
So when I signed up back in May, I sent the St. Louis Anarchy Instagram, like I sent them a direct message of just like, hey, I've signed up for the seminar. If you need help setting up the ring or putting together the venue, I am more than happy to come up as early as I can and pitch in. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's great. We start set up at 2:00. And I was like, okay. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to take off work for the day. So I was kind of thinking I might have to take like a half day. It's like, all right, I'll be up there as close to that as I can. End of conversation. Because that's all that's required. Asa learned that when you're doing something like that, you should probably check in. Definitely not day of show, but
Week of show.
Week before, just to double check. Because I get to the venue a little after 2. I walk in and all of the chairs are set up. The ring is set up. And I'm just like, oh no. There's some people, like I guess they were probably like trainees in the ring. Some people were setting up their merch stands, and so I was just like, oh no, am I super late? Like what happened? Well, turns out they did a thing on the St. Louis News.
Yeah, they did.
To help promote the show, and it was a super cool video. Like
Because the besties were in
Fitchett,
it.
Raul was in
yeah.
it. Like which I did talk to him, and it is Fitchett.
No,
And
I told you it was Fitchett.
And I knew it was, but it was that thing in my brain of like maybe everyone is saying it wrong, and Stryker was the only person saying
So
it
did
right.
you?
What did Stryker say again?
Fittich.
Fittich or Fichet?
No, it was Fittich.
Well, it was Fittich.
Fittich.
Okay.
Yeah. So you ratted out Matt Stryker to Matt Fitchett?
No,
Yes.
I told him I was like, man, because I don't know if he saw it,
Yeah.
like because it was a big show and it was a big match. It's them versus SCU, like so
Yeah.
maybe they went back and rewatched it.
Yeah.
So I assumed he was at least aware of it, maybe, and if not, Matt Stryker spoiled Endgame, so
He kind of
had one coming.
Yeah. I was really hoping you were going to say that you walked in, everything's set up, and then as you entered, the doors slammed behind you. Everyone stopped and looked at you.
There was a record scratch,
right, and you're just like sweating like Jordan Peele. And
It doesn't matter when you walk in, because I've walked in, like I've worked for like a company that I don't usually work for before, and that has happened, and like it never actually happens, but it feels like that when you're
yeah.
not used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when it's a group of people, when you already have that low key like feeling of I don't belong in the wrestling business to begin with,
Yep.
and now I'm at like a bigger promotion where I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I introduced myself to the people that were there, and I talked to Gary J, who has been in CCW before.
Yeah.
100% did not remember me, which is fine because why would he? And I was like, oh, I messaged the thing. I didn't know I was coming to help side. He's like, oh yeah, we set up on Sunday because they told us we could just leave it up the whole time. So we did that because we had the news thing. He's like, oh well, I mean, hang out. There's the bar next door because it's in like it's a Knights of Columbus Hall, I think.
Yeah.
And so they have restaurants.
Because it was the Spalding, right?
Yeah, it's a Spalding
Yeah,
building.
so like you walk up those steps and it's a bar.
Yep.
And I only knew that because whenever we went to Glory Pro that one time, they were walking back with alcohol every time.
Part of the reason I want to go to Glory Pro is because if they're selling the pizzas, because the pizza smelled amazing.
those pizzas.
They also set.
Wait, hold on. There was pizza?
Yes, the bar sells pizza, and they set the new single night record
of how many pizzas sold?
over 100.
Jesus.
Previous record was like 80 something. I think
for
they said.
them.
Hey,
Yeah,
pizza sounds good for dinner.
alley glares.
Pizza at a wrestling show sounds amazing. Like in the middle of my match, just like
Just stop and
Yeah.
grab a bite.
Whoa,
give it,
Heath.
give it to Heath Fatten.
The
Jesus.
Jeff Odell.
Jeff Odell, not me.
Jeff Odell.
I think Heath Fatten is legitimately in amazing shape.
Catch me in a shirt.
God, I wish you all hadn't stopped talking.
No, because I'm saying like if I look like Heath, catch me in a shirt.
Yeah.
Kevin, please text me about how funny that was.
So the show itself was amazing. This was my first time seeing a lot of these people live, and because I'm not as familiar with the St. Louis scene in that area as I should be, and that's something that I'm trying to like educate myself more of. The Gymnasty Boys are immediately like, I tweeted about it as like, I don't want to be in a show. I don't want to go to another show that they're not at, because they were awesome. And also they're just super cool dudes, like the way they handled the homophobe on Facebook.
Well, there wasn't any of that at the show, was there, hopefully?
No, that like it is. St. Louis Anarchy is very much and really that whole St. Louis scene
Very liberal.
is very, very not even liberal as much as just like
Respectful.
not shitty humans.
Yeah.
Like because like
some good.
yeah, Sarah did a thing where she's like, boo who you want, cheer who you want, but leave your misogynistic, homophobic, racist. That's not welcome here.
Yeah.
Like they make that announcement before the show starts, which I loved.
And we've been at shows where like the owner would come out and say, I don't want you guys cussing out here. The wrestlers aren't going to cuss.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to cuss.
When
Elgin.
Elgin was in charge of Glory Pro, like he came out and started the show like this is a PG show. This is a very family friendly. We will not the wrestlers will not say these things. You will not say these things as the crowd. That's the agreement that we have.
Which is
otherwise
really good,
have fun.
You don't want your like heel manager to come out and have to like point out the racists in the crowd, therefore setting off a shitstorm.
Yeah,
That's bad.
but the
For the record.
the show was great. I'm excited to go back to another one. I'm a little bummed that they run on Friday nights because that's hard to get up with work.
Oh, I definitely can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to try to go to another one. They recently made a pretty big announcement that I'm not going to say on here just because like out of respect, because they have their podcast that they do. It's Evan Jelestico and Matt Jackson, Gary Abernathy. Like they put out a podcast for the show.
Oh, I didn't know
Go
that.
check that out. It was good, but they make their announcement there, and it was awesome. It was a great time. Very much not a family show. Like it's kind of like R-rated Glory Pro,
Right.
but it was super fun. Their champion Jeremy Wyatt was awesome.
He said Dirty was there, right?
Isn't that
Durden was in the 6-man tag with Gymnasty Boys and Big Beef.
Isn't that the dude that
Rose Garden. The pulled the chair out.
pulled the chair out on the drunk
She
lady?
thinks she's famous, by the way.
Oh no, he is. But she's not. That's the greatest wrestling gif I've ever seen in my life.
Because I sat with the second half of the show. I sat with Jared and Nia
Oh, cool.
because they were up there, and I was like, oh, people I know, I will cling to.
You latched on like a parasite.
I very much did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was awesome. Also, want to give a special shout out to Jaden Newman, who was one of the people who wrestled there for the first time. He's based out of Nashville. He was really good. He got a please come back reaction after his match. But he was also like, I kind of hung out. I started talking to him and the people he was with. They were really, really cool because I don't know anybody, so I'm just gonna be like, oh hey, you acknowledged my existence, so I'm just gonna like glom onto you.
Asa was basically the guy at the airport with the brochure.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
Well, it was so like whenever we were in New Orleans, there was one time where it was like we went to Pancakes and I was like, I'll sit by the randoms because it was like one and then a wall. So Ace was on the wall, and then I just start talking to everybody.
Yeah.
And I was like,
'Cause
we made so many friends at that
Asa's
show.
not that kind of social butterfly.
I'm really not. It's that thing where it's like, if I'm around you guys, I'm great.
Yeah.
Because I have someone that I can then just immediately go to and like, okay, so you don't hate me.
Yes.
You're glad that I'm here. So
Yes.
I can feed off of that reassurance and then be a human. When
Yes.
I'm by myself, I'm very awkward.
Yes.
And very uncomfortable.
Where I am just like, I will talk to
Yeah,
anybody and
and I-
anybody.
and
Why
I
do you
don't
take
have-
her with me all the time?
And I don't have a problem like
She's
talking
my
to people.
reassurance.
It's just that of, oh, I'm annoying them. They don't want to talk to me. Why
Right.
I'm just bugging them. And then there were a group of guys that were from graduates from Seth Rollins' school,
Okay, Blackcraft.
Black and Bold.
Black and Bold, my bad.
Are they also banned from music festivals?
I don't think so. They didn't say so. But they were super nice, super cool. Like they saw me after the show had started, and it was like, "Oh, how was the seminar?" I was like, "Oh, you guys
Which was amazing, I hear.
Yeah, the seminar was great. It was different than what I expected. So because I thought it was going to be more of a focus on the actual, like, okay, if you're refereeing, here's, some things that, you can learn, you can work on. If you're an announcer, here's some ring announcer, here's some things to do, commentary, manager, things like that. I thought it would be more focused on the actual job aspects, where there was a little bit of that, but it was mostly about how you can make yourself as valuable as possible to various companies so that you do get invited back, so that you do know how to, make a good impression and, can step up and, do things and, just kind of be more successful and more well-traveled
Right.
In the wrestling business, which was really, really cool. Really interesting.
That's so neat.
And Bryce himself was an absolute delight. I have nothing but positive things to say about him. He was super funny, super engaging, clearly made an effort to learn everyone's name, clearly made an effort to want to welcome in even the people there who had no experience,
Because
there was no experience needed or required to sign up. And, he was very open. I was like, if you just thought this was a cool thing to do as a wrestling fan, do not be embarrassed by that. Like, everyone starts somewhere. Like, this is super, and he was just very, very welcoming.
I just had just a nightmare thought of if a wrestling seminar happened like that, like the Matt Cross one, no experience needed.
No, yeah.
Oh God.
But we also were sitting around a table. Like, we weren't even in the ring.
No, just that that thought went in my head. I was like, oh, that would be the worst, best thing in the world.
And that's great that he did such a good job with it and was so attentive to it, because there are so many people now that do wrestling seminars. Like, every time I look on Facebook, there's pop-ups for seminars by everybody.
Yeah.
And some people have no business doing seminars. This Saturday, if you're going to be at CCW, I'm hosting a seminar here at Gaming Grounds on how to leech on to people that are in the business and then hopefully get some of that rub. So if you're
How much are you
interested,
charging for that seminar?
It's like I told you.
69 cents.
It's like I told you. Like, no. See, like, you were very much someone that, like, I was thinking, like, as he was giving examples of, like, things you can do for a company to make yourself more valuable, I was just like, oh, that's what Shannon does. Oh, that's what Shannon does. Oh, Shannon does that. Oh, that's what Shannon does.
Meanwhile, while you were doing that, we were at a Sam's Club. And you remember
Who'd
this?
Sam ever beat?
We were at Sam's Club, me, Allie, and Lindsay, and this kid is there with, like, his dad and his mom. And his dad tells me, like, oh, he's hiding from you. And my first thought was, oh, they know me from wrestling. But then my second thought was, but what if they don't? What if it's just one of those, oh, here's our shy kid.
Knows you from the store.
Right. So I didn't say anything. I was just like, oh, hey, what's up, bud? And then it happened again where we ran into the dad and the family again later. And he's like, oh, I'm going to leave him here with you. And I'm again going like, where do you know me from? And then eventually he asks about, like, so when's the next show? And I was like, oh, thank God, you do know me from wrestling. Now I can fuck with your kid and not feel bad about it.
Never mind.
Fuck with the kid.
There you go.
That's what he said.
I know.
what I
It's just
said.
like, oh, it's such a weird
He's going to fuck with the child.
Yes.
The child. Child? What'd you say earlier? You said something stupid. I can't even get it wrong enough. My eloquent higher level of speaking won't even allow me to fail at
Can you
your
turn his
level.
mic off?
Anyway, no. Why would I ever turn
It's
his
right
mic
here.
off?
You unplug it. Put down
Don't
Tinder.
you unplug it? We need him. We
His
need
is
him.
green.
Unplug mine.
I can't make the Tinder jokes anymore.
Anyway,
That just dawned on me.
You haven't been able to make the Tinder jokes in a while.
Yeah, it's been like a year. Like, I can't make them.
I miss those jokes so much.
I don't.
Meanwhile,
That was a sad time of my life.
in the world,
Yeah,
no, but it was great for us. Like, the comedic value.
No, St. Louis Anarchy, I have nothing but super positive. I had a really, really great experience all around. Everyone that I talked to was super nice. Everyone was very friendly. Great show. Honestly, like, made me more excited for CCW.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you also just got to enjoy a show. And
Yeah.
like,
and that was a huge deal of just being able to, like, go and then, like, and I helped, set it, like, put everything away after, because since I missed the setup. But
So Asa Gray doing good things across the wrestling community.
oh yeah, it's awesome that you did that. Like,
It's a part of our new YouTube show.
Asa Gray
isn't
Asa Gray
trying good things.
trying good.
leave naming stuff to me. It's okay.
Nope, this is ours.
It's okay.
What have you named lately?
Nothing, honestly. This is all a bunch of like.
That's not true. He
maybe
gave
names.
you a great
No, I
gimmick
named
to use
I
at
named,
your next show.
I named,
Oh, that's right, I have that.
I will murder you. I named the friggin' Smash tournament that they're doing. The Smashville Classic.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
That was the name that because Jesse was like, hey, you're good at naming stuff. we need a name. What do you got for a Smash tournament? And I was literally swamped at work, saw the message, immediately typed that out. And then like 10 minutes later, I come back and Jesse's like, awesome. What else you got? And I was like, what more do you want from me?
I give it one name.
I'm at work.
That makes me incredibly sad. Pro Wrestling Unscripted. This guy. Podzilla After Dark. This
That
guy.
was me.
Oh, was that you?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
I don't remember.
I
that.
gave it the name
In
and the
other
original
wrestling
picture.
news.
No,
in
I
other
did
wrestling
all of
news.
that.
So AEW.
I gave it the newer ones.
She did. She made it somehow sleazier.
Good job.
Next time, this is going to be a picture of Ron Jeremy and Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force slathering themselves up with oils and ketchup. AEW announced their show on TNT is starting October 2nd. They also had a trailer out for it today,
Happy
which was pretty
birthday
cool.
to me.
So I want to give a heartfelt congratulations to NXT for having their first Fox Sports 1 or Fox Network
On October
live
7th.
NXT special on October 2nd.
Also, October 2nd.
You don't think this is going to be the crossover
It's a
show?
Wednesday.
It is
NXT versus Evolve or
yeah,
something
it's
like
gonna be
that?
something like that. No, we knew
Raw
this was
Reunion
coming.
Part 2?
There's the new Twitter where it's AEW on TNT. Like
Yeah.
that's the Twitter handle for the actual for the actual show.
But they still haven't said how long the show's going to run. They haven't announced.
So someone on let me
what was it, October 2nd?
yeah, it's
So
October
that's-
2nd.
So they're going to run on Wednesdays.
They're running on Wednesdays. They're running seemingly opposite of NXT.
Okay.
Let me pull up the post because someone on Reddit posted what they.
I thought it was supposed to be Tuesdays.
I also
well,
thought it
that was the
Tuesdays.
that was the rumor. It was Tuesday Night Dynamite,
Okay. Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah, because I think Louis made a
didn't-
graphic for that.
we didn't know when they were going to start airing, and they definitely were not going to air on Tuesdays against SmackDown.
Right.
Yeah.
They,
So
if
just-
anything, they would have waited until SmackDown moved to Fox on Fridays because
Yeah.
that's happening
Although,
then.
considering the recent Allie, as I showed her, the SmackDown picture from the attendance,
Oh, is it the one like where
yeah.
half of the building was empty?
it was
Which I mean,
bad.
that's what
It
it's been the
was-
last several weeks.
Yeah.
Aside
Yeah.
from the Raw
But
reunion
I mean,
show,
it legitimately looked like a house show.
yeah, and
you
even
know?
the house shows. Did you know the house show was this Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah.
I found out like 2 days ago.
One of my friends was like, "Hey, are you going to this?" And I was like, "I didn't," because she sent me the picture of the tickets or of the event, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't decided yet," because I didn't realize what date it was.
Right.
Because I'm still half toying around with the idea of maybe going up to Glory Pro after
Sunday.
CCW. I very much don't think I will,
Mm-hmm.
but I really want to see the North versus the Workhorsemen.
Yeah.
Because the Workhorsemen versus the Besties in the World was one of the best tag team matches I have ever seen.
Okay.
I got a free ticket to go see wrestling. Someone
you?
invited me, but just me.
No.
So that's a little awkward. So I declined.
Text
Yeah,
me who it
that's-
was.
I can't because I think they still have the ticket.
I'm not gonna
No,
go.
he just wants to know who's like, hey, Shannon.
who is
Only
awkward
Shannon
enough?
comes.
Yeah.
It was a man. It was David Stevens, who I know from he's the person that was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer last year. I told you guys
okay.
about.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of the podcast, and he comes in.
Hi, David.
Yeah,
Hey, David.
he comes in and talks to me about it and stuff. He invited me to go, but I can't make it. So I tried to get Emily, your friend Emily, to see if she could possibly go, but she's already going with somebody. So I think he still has the free ticket. I am busy, but at the same time, I could not in good conscience go without like Allie.
Right.
I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like that would make me feel bad. Jason got me free tickets to the last one, but I didn't know about it until it was too late. So
Worth
Thanks,
noting
Jason.
too, they do not have tickets for the upper decks available because I looked up the tickets and it's
like they're sold
The
out?
cheap, no, they're just not offering them.
oh.
Because so it's the middle level and the cheapest tickets at least today were $42.
Oh, well,
Holy
then
hell.
I'm not going.
yeah. So I
good.
was like, no, that's like between.
Because WWE house shows aren't that great.
I mean, they're
Honestly.
they can be a lot of fun, but at the same time, like
You have to make that fun, kind of.
a little bit, but also like I can go to like Glory Pro, like between ticket and gas, like I'd be spending about the same amount of money, and it
Right.
would be a much more intimate show, and I would be supporting a
Local.
local.
I think most people
independent
go
show.
to these shows just for the like merch.
I mean, and it's a good place
It's a
to get
huge thing, yeah.
it.
That's where
but
Allie
so,
got her very first End Zone Cash shirt.
jumping
Yeah.
back
Who
to
bought the same shirt I did,
Did I know that?
guess what? A lot of people bought that
Yeah.
shirt.
but Allie did.
Jumping back to AEW though,
You also
so
got another shirt.
the number one
Guys, please.
post on Reddit under the thread
Oh, you calm
is they're not citing their sources, so I don't know, but like everyone seems to be agreeing with it, and maybe I just haven't seen where it came from. TNT show will be Wednesdays 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. live weekly. The October 2nd debut in Washington, D.C. Capital One Arena. 20,000 seat venue.
Which they'll probably sell out.
If they try to, they may like do a thing where they
curtain them off.
Curtain off. But if it's one of those things where if they open up tickets for that and they sell 10,000 in 10 minutes, they may just open up the rest of it.
Hey guys, our bad. Here's the other 10,000.
And then the ticket information, speaking of, that will be available on Monday, July 29th at noon. The on-sale date and prices that's when that will be revealed. That is likely also Eastern time.
So we're gonna hope that it just sells out right away.
Well, and they're not going on sale on Monday the 29th. All of the information about the tickets, that's when that's coming out.
Okay,
It'll likely be on that AEW on TNT Twitter account.
Legitimately excited to have wrestling. I know this is going to sound weird, but it's legitimately exciting to have wrestling on TNT again.
Yeah.
Like the WC.
How long has it been? When did
2001?
2001 was the
Yeah.
last.
Yeah, so 18 years, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Monday Night Wars were a big part of my childhood. So, or teenage years, technically. So it's really, it's not the same thing. It'll never be WCW.
Right,
And
'cause-
it's going to be better than WCW, don't get me wrong, but it won't be WCW. But it's very cool to have, well, that's so stupid because there are other shows I could watch and I just don't. But this one has that big feel to it.
Yeah, but none of them are on like a mainstream cable
Yeah,
network.
right.
Like the most you have really is, I'm not
Ring
sure.
of Honor on,
I don't know. what network-
WKBSI.
yeah, because it's on late.
Yeah.
But this is prime time
Yeah, this is-
on the spot.
And like Impact had various deals, but it's been a while since they've been on a major network. But now they're on Twitch, so they're super easy to watch.
right.
Um,
But it doesn't have the same feel.
But like,
Yeah.
You know-
but your normal TV provider, you have two different options now.
yeah, but it also Impact has been around for so long. It almost doesn't feel as special. Like it's almost kind of been grandfathered in as just as another company. Whereas AEW feels new. It feels fresh because it is like this is the first time a group of wrestlers have started their own thing.
Yeah, I think wasn't it the tagline was like for fans by wrestlers?
For wrestlers by wrestlers or something like that. I thought.
That's what I thought too, but then I thought, well,
The trailer was cool.
Are you just saying you want wrestlers to watch it?
Well, no, but
Because I guess Dalton can.
they're
but-
running they are running their company like it's the way the company is run is the way that I took that. Is it's they are
It's
not
for the wrestlers by the wrestlers.
yeah, they're not gonna be on the road 5 days a week. They're not gonna
They're
be
basically, to take it back to King of the Hill. They're basically that shop that was local owned that Tommy Chong worked for, where it was all it was like anti-corporate, and Hank went to get his beef there. Is this ringing a bell?
it was the
it was
co-op.
like the hippie, the co-op. Yeah, that's the
co-op.
word I was trying to think of. Yeah, but you know what happened?
They
sold out.
Sold out to
Worries me.
Megalomart.
Worries me. Something to keep an eye on. But congratulations to AEW. That's exciting. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
It's going to be really weird seeing our friend Marco Stunt on television. Like on legit, like, oh my God, look,
Cable
it's Marco
television.
Stunt. Also, as I told Dalton earlier, I've become such a big fan of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy as a team. That's I don't know. There's something about that's just magic.
How much did you cry when you saw Jungle Boy climb the billboard? Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
Yeah.
So there was a video posted. His Luke Perry's final movie is coming out, and there's a billboard. There's a billboard somewhere with his face on it. It's Luke Perry and I'm blanking on the name of the movie, but it's a video of Jungle Boy walking up to the billboard, climbing up it, and then like sitting on top of it.
That's sweet.
Which it's not like a highway billboard. It's much closer to the ground.
That's still very, very
But,
sweet.
yeah, it
a
was
lot of people forget that he is Luke Perry's son. You know,
Well, because that's not his identity.
It's not.
But
They-
it is.
they don't call him Luke Perry's son. Well, I guess they use his
JR
name.
said it a couple times at the last show, and it kind of bummed me out because like I get it, but at the same time, like you don't have to call him Jack Perry. It's just Jungle Boy.
And you don't have to exploit his dad because he's clearly got the talent on his own.
I mean, I wouldn't say exploiting. You're saying his last name, but like it's
No,
one
I'm
of
just
those
saying
where
in
it's
the
just
future
like,
they don't have to exploit it. They don't have to go. They don't
Over
have to
the
do the
top with it.
video package of like him talking about his father You know what I
every
mean?
single time.
Right. Anyway, moving on. Congratulations to AEW. We'll definitely be watching. This is somewhat surprising, not really after what had happened, but I was a little surprised to find out that Colt Cabana, and I did see this a couple days ago, has announced the end of the Art of Wrestling. I thought it was especially odd considering his offer to still do like special shows for patrons and stuff, which is smart. It's smart,
Well, there's those,
and I wonder how that's going to work.
I think those were already shows that have been planned. So like people have already bought into those shows. He's going to
Okay, so you're not.
continue those.
It's not like, hey, give me enough money and I'll do a special podcast and give it to you.
That's not what it sounded like to me, but I could be wrong about
Which
it.
is his right to do it. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I'm
yeah.
not shaming him. That is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, wrestling podcasts ever.
It was the podcast. It was the first biggest.
Yeah, it was the grandfather. It was the Zack Ryder of YouTube.
The amount of people all across the wrestling industry coming out and giving him the recognition that he so very rightly deserves. Like Meltzer and the Young Bucks and everybody saying like, no, independent wrestling today would not be what it is without Colt Cabana and without the Art of Wrestling podcast.
Yeah. And it's sad that this is how it ends.
Well, I mean,
because you have to believe that this is in part because of what happened.
I mean,
with
he's probably burnt out. He's probably got like stuff that it's hard to maintain the
because there's a counter lawsuit going on like right now, isn't there? Yeah,
it's been filed. I think I haven't been keeping up with it, or I haven't seen any major updates. But it's the words. He did he revamped it, like he retooled it a little bit not too long ago.
Like a year ago, I think he said like I'm going to be doing this going forward.
Yeah, he changed up the format with it. And now, like, it's just, and he said, don't unsubscribe from your feed because he may come back and he may relaunch it again at a later date. He might do special episodes here and there, but no, he absolutely changed the face of independent professional wrestling, and there is no argument otherwise. Like, you cannot factually, like, this is something that it's empirical.
He was the first indie wrestler I ever knew. Was Colt Cabana, like regularly, because I had heard the names like Bryan Danielson. But I didn't know anything about him. I had heard of CM Punk before Punk became like WWE mainstream or whatever. But Colt Cabana was like the first indie wrestler that was specifically for the indies that I took an interest in. So he didn't bring me into indie wrestling, but he was the first recognizable name I ever heard. Yeah. And he was a trendsetter.
It's also super important to note, like, depending on when you listen to The Art of Wrestling, like, it was a super cool podcast because, like, one episode you would have Kevin Steen talk about, like, going to the zoo with pandas and stuff. And then the next episode would be Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Like, it was always a revolving door. Like, he stopped getting WWE guys after the CM Punk podcast, but like before that, it was people like Ziggler, Tyson Kidd, like you would get all of these names. CM Punk did a couple of them. Like, and some of my favorite, like just wrestling, like hearing people talk about wrestling stories come from The Art of Wrestling. Oh, yeah, like Cliff Compton talking about going to Nigeria with Luke Gallows is hands down the funniest podcast I've ever listened to and will ever listen to, which means I'm probably going to listen to it tonight. But like, he has like some of my favorite podcasts of all time was that podcast.
Yeah, whenever I was when I moved to and from Virginia, The Art of Wrestling was a huge, like that was a big chunk of those 19-hour drives.
Yeah.
I did not listen to podcasts at the time. I still don't, which is odd because I host one. But am I the only one that when you hear people talk in a conversation like that, it makes you feel itchy?
No.
Am I the only one that's weird? Okay,
no, not at all. There's a lot of people who can't listen to podcasts. Like even talking to Naya, she can't do podcasts because it is that thing of, especially if it's people she knows, she just wants to jump in. Like she wants to be part of that conversation that you don't.
But I like the news. I like talking heads on the news. It's very, very strange. Speaking of CM Punk is going to be appearing at StarCast 3, which was a big announcement.
Yeah.
And of course the rumor mill starts churning again. CM Punk coming back to wrestling.
The amount of shitty people on Twitter and social media because he's doing this and they feel so entitled to his life and his time and his body that people saying like, how could you do this? How could you betray your fans like this by doing StarCast but not wrestling it all out? I have so many very strong words
that rhyme with truck.
That I would like to use.
Is it just that
like
thing
this.
Where it's like, so you're saying there's still a chance?
You entitled pieces of garbage. Like, no.
It's one of those, like, if he comes back at All Out, like, sweet. Because it's one of those things, like, if WWE wants to, like, really just put the nail on the head of AEW, like, just be like, all right, we're going to stop this before it starts, they would need Punk.
Yeah, but no.
But if Punk, like, shows up, if they do another Moxley, but it's Punk this time.
Yeah. It would be huge. But there is no other sport in the world where if an athlete retires from said sport, well, okay, maybe combat sports. Combat sports I'll give you. What are you thinking of?
Look at Brett Favre.
I can't comment on that because I don't have an interest
like
in football.
Anytime
so
that, like, and
but like if Michael Jordan retired and then he decided to do a signing somewhere, people wouldn't be going like, well, you can't do that. You can't retire from this thing you did and then expect us to come see you. That's ridiculous. You have to keep playing.
Yeah.
Nobody would do that.
That's what he's talking. He's not talking about people saying, oh, you shouldn't retire. We don't want you to retire.
Yeah, and feeling entitled. I was going to the entitled to their body part of it, but yes, that's also correct.
No,
because this is ridiculous. And no wrestler either. I can't think of another wrestler that like retired and then was like, "Hey, I'm gonna have a signing here," and everybody's like, "Well, you can't do that. You retired from wrestling. You have no right to see us anymore."
My mom, like
your mom did?
No, my mom is she is super confused with the whole meet and greet aspect of wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like she doesn't get it. Like whenever we went to New Orleans and I was like, I just need to meet X-Pac. Like if we go, like I'm driving 10 hours to meet X-Pac, basically. And watch Mania. But she was just like, how much is that going to cost? And I was like, I think I told her it was like $40, which is what it was. And she was like, I don't get why you would pay $40 to meet somebody. And I was like, well, he gave me so much entertainment as a child and he can't do like what he does now, or he can't do what he used to do then because just your body tears down. Same thing with CM Punk. Like if I was going and it wasn't $200 to meet him, which I don't know how much it is, but like I'm sure it's a nice price.
It's going to be a good price.
Like it's going to be rather high. Like, that person still gave me that much entertainment that I still feel like I owe them. Like I owe them for the entertainment they gave me because it was on network television that my mom paid for. So like I never paid like personally for CM Punk.
Tell your mom if she had the opportunity to meet Fabio.
So she
like Dale Earnhardt.
I
Jeff
will.
Gordon?
No, I'll out her right now. She was an active member of Trace Atkinson's
Trace Atkins.
Whatever.
Atkinson's is a diet.
Whatever. His fan club. Like paid money monthly to be a part of his fan club and met him 4 times and has pictures with him and she paid for all of that shit.
Yeah.
Everybody has that celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it was for me. It's like, because I'm not someone who does those meet and greets.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. I paid for the picture and the autograph, or the 8x10 picture
Of Mean Gene,
Gene. But that was just because I got something physical out of that. Same thing. But like I didn't pay. Like I didn't pay to actually meet him. The only time that I've done that was Kevin Conroy.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like we talked about last night. Of just like it's because of
the love.
It's been almost 25 years of
That's
my
Batman.
life.
Yeah.
Has been
If
him as Batman.
If I had the opportunity, like I don't do meet and greets either, but if locally, if in Cape or somewhere like that, Ernie Hudson, Bill
Murray,
Dan
Dan
Aykroyd.
Aykroyd.
Not Bill Murray.
Really?
I hold a grudge.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson for sure. I would go and I would pay that because that's such a part of my life and I would love to meet them.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go to the CM Punk thing, not because I disagree with it at all. I just it's a lot of money to meet the man.
Yeah, Stone Cold was at
and usually those go. It's very much a handshake. Hey, thank
Picture.
you, big fan. Thank you.
Clench
Hold
fist.
up the fist.
Yeah, because Asa was the one that was there for X-Pac, which that was a giant moment in my life. And it was like the biggest deal, but it's in Bison. It was Tuesday, that old Sean. It was Saturday, but
You were just another fan.
Yeah, which is fine, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I was happy to give him the money, or the guy standing next to him the money. But
I think a big part of this is that Punk quit so early. You know what I mean?
I think it's more of how he quit.
It's the age, the fact that he didn't do it for so long, and the fact that he left so defiantly that people are like, well, this can't be the ending. They don't accept this ending, and they're creating a new ending in their head. Which
this isn't what they wanted, and now they're upset that because this is honestly his first wrestling signing.
Yeah,
because he did Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah,
but that is a T-shirt company that just has there was 1 hour tees actually.
It was 1 hour tees, but
it was also all in weekend.
You can't ignore the fact that it was all in weekend. It was in the same city.
But he's a retired wrestler. He absolutely has
he earns the right to do that,
to have signings. I don't understand. It's like the Mass Effect game. When the fans were upset, we didn't like the ending to Mass Effect. You should change it. Here's a petition telling you to change your game because we weren't excited. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Of Ghostbusters, the remake. Remake. Everyone they're entitled. They're so entitled. I'll move on before I get too mad because I'm entitled too.
The joke that I had immediately was, oh, maybe WWE will poach him away now.
Oh God!
I don't. He's the one wrestler. I think there's not a truckload full of money enough.
That's why it's a joke because it wouldn't happen. But look at Angle and Foley and all the
Taker,
Bischoff.
The people that
Conrad Thompson made a joke about that on one of his podcasts this week about Taker because he's like, I don't believe in zombies. I don't believe in Taker either. He didn't show up to Starcast, and I just lost my shit laughing.
Hey, PW Insider, which is a site that I used to frequent very frequently. If you have an ad blocker, because they have ads on that site like NASCAR racers have sponsors. It is everywhere.
It's all up and down the page.
They are reporting that Anthem is in talks to buy Access TV.
Yes,
which is what they're on, right?
No.
Okay.
They're trying to get Access TV is what New Japan is on.
Okay, I know I've heard of Access TV before.
They used to be on Access, I think.
Pretty sure I've heard of it.
I haven't. I have the network. So.
I see. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with ever since Impact moved to Twitch, I have not been paying attention to like what network they're on, other than they've been making moves pretty recently. But
Making moves.
The rumor was that Anthem was trying to get Impact back onto Axis at like a good time, and Axis wasn't interested. So now Anthem is just going to buy Axis to put them on there.
That's the Bruce Wayne thing of walking to a restaurant. You can't splash in the water. Well,
It's
I
my
bought
water.
the restaurant.
Yeah, it's my hotel.
What you gonna do about it, bitch?
Bruce Wayne.
Speaking of Impact Wrestling, they did renew their agreement with Twitch and expanded their weekly content production.
Yep.
Cool.
This is coming straight from Impact's website. The renewal will include the production of more exclusive content on the Twitch platform, Twitch TV / Impact Wrestling, including original weekly programming, pre and post shows, live monthly specials, weekly airings of Explosion, which features never before seen matches, IRL first person streams, don't know what that means, and much more. To support Twitch's development of its co-streaming features, Impact Wrestling will facilitate co-streaming of the weekly flagship show and will be announcing details of a contest featuring co-streamers in the near future. That's really cool. To me, that's the big one.
Legitimately, I think the IRL live stream is basically what Dr. Disrespect did, where you take the guys and just live stream them in their everyday like life.
Okay.
So it's probably like wrestlers going to
Gearing
stores
up, getting
stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully not doing what Dr. Disrespect
Well, I
did.
mean, they can't because
dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Hopefully
So sidebar, because I know the San Diego thing's coming up, so I was pulling up the Instagram I needed for that. Starcast Events just said, so for anybody that does the CM Punk meet and greet, here's what you get: limited edition artwork, exclusive enamel pin,
$300,
and a CM Punk collector's cup.
$500.
I don't know how much it is.
doesn't say what it is.
It's raising
But
the
yeah,
price.
like it was one of those things that I was like, well, that was just perfect timing on that part.
Where can you go to buy tickets to that, or do you have to like buy your
Oh.
Starcast pass to be able to?
So it's going up first tomorrow for the Platinum Starcast.
okay, so you have
members.
to already have your.
Yeah, so it's Platinum gets it, or Platinum was tonight, Gold is tomorrow, and then anybody without a bracelet is like the next day.
Okay, so we won't know. They haven't set the prices yet.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
That's big.
But yeah, but the
You get a cup.
Impact allowing co-streaming is pretty cool. So that's, if my Twitch channel was big enough, like that I had an audience for it, I could set it up to where if someone logged in to watch twitch.tv/the 5-star man, I would be broadcasting Impact.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of Twitch streamers do that.
They
to kind of help-
rebroadcast.
They not necessarily rebroadcast, but it'd be like, if I know I'm not streaming on Friday night, but Allie streams on Friday night, and I want my audience to like check her out,
You can share her stream,
I
basically.
can post and then I think I don't know enough about Twitch to say this with all certainty, but I also think it's a thing where, okay, so if I'm hosting Allie's content and someone in my channel is watching and they, tip or like pay bits or whatever it is, that actually goes to Allie's channel.
Nice.
Like I'm not profiting off of.
Because that'd be shitty.
Yeah,
That'd be real shitty.
So I think
that would be me just setting up Twitch for Impact and then collecting the money from it.
right.
Now I'm a producer
Yeah,
on Impact.
but that's a thing that both parties have to agree to. Like I can't just
Yeah, because that'd be illegal.
I mean, it definitely violate their terms of service. But like, if you didn't have your settings set to where you allowed other people to, stream your stuff.
The only way that would be legal is if you sat there with a controller pretending to
Like
play
UFC, dude.
Impact.
That guy was scummy, but that's the best way
Oh,
to
that's
do it.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That was absolutely incredible. WWE is the network's receiving an update. What's on this update?
There's a little video that they posted on their website, but it talks about like, now there's going to be like wrestler bios. Like if you're on the website, Kofi Kingston, they showed like Kofi's thing.
That's
You
neat.
can, it's supposedly like widely expanding your search options. So now you can like
Good.
search by wrestler.
Because you used to be able to do that, but it was garbage.
Yeah,
pretty bad.
and like it has it listed as like all the champions were listed. So like Adam Cole was up there, the Kofi, Lesnar, so it had all of that. And other things like new content, like they're expanding like what they're putting on there as well. I didn't fully understand it, but now I think they're adding chapters to the actual previous broadcasts, because they pulled up this past year's WrestleMania and it was saying like, do you want to relive this moment? And it was Rollins beating Lesnar, or this moment and Kofi winning,
Which is such a good, I like on the past events.
yeah, or the moment where it's it's Becky winning is how it was built. So I think now you can search by, or you can skip pretty much.
So they kind of
two
have like
specific matches.
spot by spot, kind of like a chapter selection in DVD.
Yeah, so if you're
DVD,
if like
Blu-ray, 4K. I'm sorry.
this mostly affects I think people like Dalton who are constantly watching stuff. So it'd be where I I watched it at work, and I meant to watch it before the show, so I apologize for not being as prepared as I should be.
You bastard.
But there's a video on their website, kind of, but it wasn't very clear. It just kind of showed what the UI would look like, and I didn't see a launch date of when that was going to hit, but.
Because, like, unless you're watching a pay-per-view, like, going and finding something on the network is kind of tricky, just because there's so many, like, pay-per-views, in-ring, like, it's not broad enough, like, it's not micromanaged enough to the point where it's just like, oh, super easy to find.
It's true, because I remember we tried to look up stuff at one point, and you're, like, searching, I forget who it was, you were searching for a wrestler. It may have even been Sting. We were trying to find one specific thing, but it just popped up, everything was Sting.
Yeah, and it's one of those, like, whenever you have every episode of Nitro... Like, and you're trying to find Sting stuff, it makes it difficult.
Right. God, you guys made me want the network back, because now I want to watch Nitros.
I still got it. Oh, man, 205 Live from this week.
I know.
No, you don't.
I
didn't
don't
watch it.
I didn't.
Yeah. It was really, because I was like,
damn it.
I love what they're doing with Lorcan.
Yeah.
Like, they're kind of making him a super badass in a way that really is way more acceptable on 205 Live than it would be on the main roster, although I do genuinely think that he could pull that off on the main roster.
Due to his size specifically?
Yeah, strictly because of his size.
Yeah, because he's a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Shane Strickland made his debut, or Isaiah Scott made his debut.
I
on 205
wonder.
Live.
Okay, so legitimately, I saw you post on there you hate the name Isaiah Scott, and I couldn't.
No, I'm not a fan of the name, but his music was not.
Was that what it was? Because I couldn't remember who Isaiah Scott was, and I wanted
Shane
to message
Strickland.
you. Okay,
And
so
that
they
match was-
didn't go with
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Yeah, they didn't spring
You don't
for
think
it.
they could?
Damn it!
Yeah. But like, and then every time I see him on WWE TV, I'm like, we will get him in Velveteen Dream once, and it'll be amazing.
Well, he's mostly on NXT. This was billed as a special NXT 205 Live
And
match.
go out, like, I don't know if you've seen it. The whole show was that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So
Okay,
like
cool.
the opening match was like a tag match between Humberto and another guy whose name is escaping right now.
Oh, Raul Mendoza.
Thank you. Versus Lucha House
Party.
Party. That was really good. And then the main event was also like Gulak versus Isaiah Scott was really good.
And then they did more with Drake Maverick and Mike
Kanellis.
Kanellis, because now next week they're doing an unsanctioned match where if Kanellis beats Maverick, he gets a championship match.
And I think Maverick is now done being the GM after
Oh,
this.
is he?
Like, I think that was because the opening promo. I'd have to go back and watch it again because I was tired when I watched it. But like, it was a really good week of 205 Live.
That bums me out because he's so good as the general manager. But if they're going to continue, if they are going to simultaneously run the 24/7 stuff and make him a joke, then that hurts this.
It hurts
Yeah.
the cause. And that's even like what Kanellis brought up in that promo is you haven't been doing your job.
You've been
but-
running around, yeah.
So legitimately, that same thing I told you guys I posted earlier, where I posted the little promo thing with Damone. Justin posted something on there, and we've kind of just gone through it. You know, everybody's talking, and then Donnie Davis, Dangerous Donnie 6, he posted just a GIF of a UFC German suplex that actually put like fear in my heart. that Donnie's gonna
That's fine. You'll do great.
where was that at? Because I want to see this.
It's on my Facebook.
Okay,
Just
I'm on it.
Scroll down. And I'm like, I gave him a Kevin Hart stare in terror because, yeah, he doesn't look that bad till you watch a guy almost lose his face.
Oh, found it.
Anyway, that's going to do it for that stuff. Now, Dalton, you had, if you stop watching my immediate death,
I'm back where I needed to be.
imminent death. Immediate will be Saturday.
Yup.
Imminent's where we are now. You have all the info on the hottest wrestling figures coming out of the San Diego Comic-Con. We talked at length last night about Comic-Con. We talked about some of the things we're excited about. Asa said that he had this specially put in for you because you're so excited about it. So let's hear.
Cassius Ohno gets his own elite.
Was that one that was in a box that looks super sweet?
Maybe.
Like it almost looked like the holy grail of wrestling figures. The way they had
It was in the
pictured
glass. It was in
Yeah,
the glass.
Yeah,
glass.
because that's how they do their displays. Like, it's all like single. They announced a lot of people. Like, if you're just now getting into wrestling figures, like this year's gonna be awesome for it because you're getting like everybody's getting like their own elite. We have like EC3 coming up. I'm excited for that. My bank account is like, you are a dick, because also Marvel Legends also kind of screwed me this year. But
We're just talking about WWE.
I know but I'm bringing it back to WWE.
Please stay within the
parameters
The
of the
parameters, Mr. Mueller. We need you.
But like they had announced like pretty much all of 2019, 2020 figures, which is gonna be pretty cool. I did find out through a Major Wrestling Figure podcast and Ringside, the Cassius Ohno is gonna be Elite 71's Target exclusive. So, Podzilla fans, I'm gonna need y'all to help me find this one.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just gonna solicit.
No. I will.
Anybody wants to send me one?
No, I will PayPal you. Like, you send me a picture of it, I will PayPal you the money that moment with shipping with a $5 tip. And I don't care if I have one. I want another.
Hey, hey, Podzilla fans, if you want to really stick it to Dalton and send me a free one that you find in the wild, 709 Broadway in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
I'm not putting my
63701.
address on this podcast.
You can send it to me, and then we'll really stick it to
Zero,
Dalton.
I know how many targets are in Texas, buddy. What I'm saying is, I will love you more than Zane. Zane?
Oh no.
Yeah, no, they're fighting for my love on this one. But no, there's a lot of really cool.
It's a hard fight.
Yeah. There's like so many cool people getting figures. Matt Riddle's getting one. Keith Lee's getting one. Like, and San Diego Comic-Con, they're announcing the Marvel movies. But they also announced like all of the Elite figures coming up.
Are these Elite figures? Are these specifically for WWE? Like, so they're already making like a Keith Lee Elite figure?
Not Elite, basic.
Okay.
Because like they have like different lines, but like they showed off. Because like you'll have your different stages of like showing off wrestling figures. So you'll have your finished prototypes, which is like that first day when you see them in like the glass case. And there's like 80 of them.
Yeah.
Those are like finished prototypes, and then you'll have unfinished prototypes, which like Asa and I saw a couple at Mania last year where like they weren't painted.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed off like the unpainted ones they showed was Roderick Strong, Freddie Blassie, he's getting one, which is pretty cool. And then Buddy Murphy. And that one looks sweet. Like they did his shorts perfectly and everything. And then they did a bunch of like computer image test shots. And that's where we saw like the basics of Keith Lee, Matt Riddle. Iconics are finally getting their first figure, which is insane to think about.
A little bit.
Because they've been there for so long.
Yeah.
They showed off like 3 new Demon Elites. Or no, 1 Ultimate Elite Demon and then like 2 more Elite.
Oh,
Demons.
the Ultimate Elite. That's the one you showed us the picture of, right?
Yeah, that's like super detailed and like
Yeah.
the articulation's weird, but I'm gonna buy it.
I know.
Yeah.
You don't have to say that.
Yeah, because like what Asa said last on yesterday's show is I like the 2 days of Comic-Con where they were just not revealing movies. I was just sending them figure after figure of just like, this is coming.
Oh yeah, no, I would be sitting at my desk at work and I'd just be like, I'd come back and be like, you have 17 notifications. It's all
Dalton.
just like stills of action figures. I do want to point out though that I am a comedic genius because when Dalton posted the image of Cassius Ono, the Ono figure, I was like, oh, which of your figures are you going to have pin him first?
I was so mad. I'm trying to think.
It's funny because he loses.
Jinder
It makes
Mahal-
you so sad.
Jinder Mahal is finally getting his first like actual single card release Elite. Jinder Mahal.
Because the only way you could get him was through a ring, right?
Yeah, you had to buy like $100 ring to get him.
Because they did the same thing with Goldberg.
Yes, but they had to do it like they finally made his too.
Goldberg,
Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal also
I know Dan thinks that's about right. But.
Yeah. He comes with the WWE Championship. Mattel's super quick on the ball on that one. I'm just going through. Yeah, those were the main ones. Like, so like we get a bunch of NXT guys coming up. A lot of the like elites that we've just been waiting for. They're going to do Gorilla Monsoon, which they canceled, but they're bringing back, which I'm super excited about. Yeah. Which means I have to buy a Bobby Heenan now.
You don't already have one?
I had one.
Have or had?
Had.
What happened to it?
Gave it to Asa.
Oh, that's sweet of you.
I had him with my before we moved on my computer desk. It was him and the New Day because I have them opened.
Yeah, because Billy Hills texted me Friday whenever I was in St. Louis doing my figure hunt. Mm-hmm. He was like, I know you're the one person I can text right now that'll give me the exact answer I need. Bobby Heenan Elites because they're making Monsoon. And I just sent him the Amazon link and I was like, here it is. I don't have it yet. Yeah. Whenever Monsoon comes out, I'll probably grab it because I think he's like $30. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. Like, if you're collecting toys and you listen to this show,
help him out. Help a brother out.
Oh, if you see a Cassius Ono, yeah, send it to me. I will. I'm not even joking. Like, I already have 3 people that I'm like, it should be like 5 months from now that it comes out.
Yeah.
But I already have people like eyeing it.
If you see the police, warn a brother.
Yeah.
And now I know I already yelled at you for it, but at the same token, if you're at a Target in the coming months and you see a NECA 2-pack of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of the ones where it's the Turtles together, or Bebop and Rocksteady, holla at your boy.
Focus, people.
I know what PayPal is now.
Word.
I PayPal'd Bryce for my seminar and St. Louis Anarchy for my ticket. I'm a grown-up.
All right, you know what? Screw it. Everybody else is jumping into this. If you're out in the wild and you see a Piranha Plant amiibo, also, I don't know what PayPal is or eBay, but
Someone that you know has a PayPal.
I will mail you a check.
So
literally 2 people at this table have Three people at
And
this.
Lindsay has
Allie, is there a
the
toy
same
you want to throw in here if people see
No,
it?
guys, for real. This is Chris Hero's first elite figure. Let's not dilute this with petties. You
What's
guys
petty
can,
about the Piranha Plant?
You guys can do this on different shows.
Wow.
I kept it to Shannon's rules. He said wrestling.
That wasn't my rule.
You
that
will
was Ace's
not.
rule.
You will not.
Get a segment ever again.
You will not disrespect the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
not.
I will tell your father, Billy Hills.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, Dave?
Farmer Billy Hills will have none of this.
Hey, this is wrestling related, actually. They're also coming out with a line of Ghostbusters wrestling crossover figures.
Do you want me to find those?
I at least want the Shawn Michaels.
Okay, I can get
Like,
that.
I want
Yeah,
Shawn
those will be
Michaels
easy
the
to get.
most, yeah.
They're Walmart exclusives. They'll be super simple.
I want that because I've got the Finn Balor Leo. And
Okay,
I think
we
I
can-
have. Do I have another one, or is it just the Finn Balor Leo?
I think you just have the Finn Balor Leo.
That was
Yeah,
my favorite one.
Because you have a Leo collection.
I do have a Leo
I was
collection.
super on board with them until they took like the jumpsuits off of them and they have the molded shirts on.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because we're hungry. Watching all that Gordon Ramsay stuff really got me in the mood to eat filth.
But yeah, San Diego Comic-Con, a lot of cool toys.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Good show. All right, let's talk about Raw. Raw was the big Raw reunion, and we said we were going to talk about it. Shucks howdy.
I liked it.
I didn't watch it. I watched a bunch of clips. I watched a bunch of clips.
So here's my thing with the reunion, the Raw reunion, is it was a solid show. It was a fun show for what it is. My problem with it is why should they sell out an arena for the first time in months, like legitimately sell out an arena
Yeah.
at an event, which they've been having attendance problems. And they've been having ratings problems. This did an additional like 300,000 viewers. I think it did a much better
Yeah.
rating. Is the point? My problem with it is why should anyone who watched that show tune in on this coming Monday
Because they didn't highlight their actual guys.
at all? At all.
Seth got a pretty good rub, but that was
Which
about
was
it.
supposed to belong to Ricochet, apparently, but his
he was supposed to
injury-
be part of it, but yeah, he's
Yeah.
got an elbow injury,
That
or
sucks.
like an elbow infection or something. It does not sound good. But it's the and even the Seth Rollins promo.
Was rough.
I know he's been getting hate on the internet, but I do not blame him. I think this is a thing of now they aren't as focused on Roman, so now all of that energy is being put on Seth.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, go out there and pretend to be Paul Heyman and talk about how Brock Lesnar looks and make not any sense about how Lesnar waited 4 years to cash in on me because he's been the champion.
Yeah, he hasn't had the Money in the Bank.
Why would he? What are you talking about? Like, he's been the guy. This doesn't make sense. So I feel like he's just a victim of them. Like, they're focusing too much on him
Yeah.
now, and that's why it's suffering.
And the relationship with Becky also being in the public spotlight does not help.
And then you get the OC, which I think is a terrible name.
I actually like it better than the club.
I can't think of anything other than
Then the
what you said.
Yeah.
Like I can't. That's all I can think of. And also, they're not at all. Like
Yeah,
Finn Balor and Carl Anderson maybe, but it's
No,
Balor.
it was Balor, Anderson, and
Bad Luck Fale.
Bad Luck Fale.
Like those were the three. But like AJ Styles was not an original member. It took a while
Gallows
for
was
Gallows.
close.
Gallows was close, but I think the Bucks even beat him in.
Maybe.
But it doesn't matter. Either
but,
way,
like, I get
that's
what you're saying.
It's a semantic thing. It's a petty little thing that I have. But like, okay, they got classed out by a bunch of 80-year-old men. Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And
Where,
then
where was Billy Gunn in that?
He was busy sitting on Marco Stunt.
it surprised him.
Yeah.
Well, lots surprised him. So I don't know. It's just everything was so focused. The most attention that anything current day really got was the 24/7 title. And that's because it was being passed around by a bunch of legends, although now the internet is aflame with controversy. Because now, if they are officially recognizing $1 Million Man
Yep.
buying the 24/7 title
he is a
from
WWE
Amanda
champion.
Blaze,
Yeah.
then that means they also have to validate him buying it from Andre the Giant.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And my favorite part of the entire show was seeing one of my former favorites, Candice Michelle, winning a title in WWE in the year of our Lord 2019.
God. They made her do that dance and kept that camera on her like 3 seconds too long. It was awkward.
The whole thing with like Kelly and all that it was awkward. It was fun though. I mean, like I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was cool that Alicia Fox
Is retired, I guess.
I was gonna say that was weird because she was plugged as one of the legends, and it's like she was on the active roster
right.
like 3 months ago.
I'm surprised they didn't have Sasha Banks on there as a legend. You know,
Well, they couldn't get her back. She's too busy throwing a tantrum.
It was
on an internet.
It was also really weird to see RVD on there. Oh, by the way,
Current
before we
Impact
get to
wrestler RVD.
In gear. He
Before-
was in gear.
That's all he wears.
I once again want to mention that Candice Michelle won the 24/7 title because I got so much hate for liking Candice Michelle back in the old days. Not from you guys, but like
Because we weren't friends.
Because we weren't friends. You would have. Legitimately, I was such a huge fan of Candice Michelle. I just thought she was cool. And when she won the title last night, I was legitimately happy for her. So I again just want to push that.
Sadie got really happy when Kelly Kelly won it.
See, I was never a Kelly Kelly fan, but they all looked amazing. Kelly Kelly looks like she should still be.
Well, it's because like Kelly Kelly's legit only like 32 years old.
Yeah, because I think she was 14 when she started in WWE. And
She was 19, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Starts with a Q. Anyway, it's a Keenan joke. Anyway, yeah, RVD full gear out there because someone I saw a report that mentioned that the primetime players
Eat a bag of dicks. The Street Profits,
the
you
Street
son
Profits
of a bitch.
mentioned RVD, and I thought was it like a subtle joke? No, RVD was there.
No, yeah, it was like a segment or two after.
So that just tells me between that and like them like letting them use Rhino on a pay-per-view is just like, oh, so WWE does not care about Impact at all. Like they're just letting them.
I said
do-
the enemy of my enemy is my
that
friend.
could have been the exchange, honestly.
See,
and that's why WWE probably wasn't shitty about it all because
and
they were
that's
just
something
like,
we mentioned. That's something we mentioned last night. But it's like I don't know how long in advance they knew about this show.
It feels like the Raw reunion was thrown together so last
because it could have been one of those like, yeah, you can use Rhino, but you owe us one.
Yeah, we wanna get-
And then whenever we said, hey, Raw reunion, they called up Impact like, hey, here's our one.
Yeah.
Can you get RVD to put the singlet on and not do anything?
I mean, he just wrestled like 3 weeks ago. He wrestled Moose.
Thank you, Allie.
Uh,
He walked out there with the Hurricane and Sergeant Slaughter.
That was
and-
my
who's
it
the
was,
actual wrestler? that was on
Angle.
there? Was it Angle? Yeah, because it was during the Rey Mysterio match.
Yeah,
it was
'cause
Sami Zayn.
It was pretty great because then it was just like when you go to Dollar Tree and buy the Avengers DVD, and it was just them. I was like, God, that was funny.
But yeah, and then the last segment of Raw, the last like 10, 15 minutes of the show was nothing but just
Talking.
how much better the Legends are.
Yeah.
And it, feel good. It's awesome to see Stone Cold back, but like to me,
it wasn't.
To me, it doesn't feel as special because it feels like we've seen everybody within the last year.
Yeah.
Minus, when was the last time we saw Stone Cold?
He's probably the longest one.
Maybe last Mania or whatever the last Mania appearance he had.
Which I thought was 30. No. He
No, it's
stunned.
been-
Yeah, he stunned Kofi.
It was last year because he stunned Shane and Vince during Raw. Oh, no, it wasn't last year. When was Raw 25?
but it was like-
he stunned. It was like a SmackDown or a Raw. Or
It was
something
Raw
like that.
25. I think you're
Yeah.
right. I think it was Raw 25.
Okay.
That's only been a couple years.
All right, no, that's fine. I couldn't keep it.
But
in my
like
head.
so none. It doesn't feel as special because sure you have the mass volume. Also, let's be honest, they're going pretty fast and loose with the term legend.
Well, you telling me Santino Morello didn't belong there?
I was gonna say the Hurricane.
Boogeyman was the one that kind of sticks in my craw.
Sir.
But so either way, I want to give a special shout out to Mick Foley for being the only person they brought in to actively putt over someone who's wrestling today.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Hulk Hogan put over Charlotte Flair. It was Ric Flair. Never mind. Sorry.
And I also very much hope that they let him keep the mandible claw. Like, I hope it's someone on Reddit even posted where it's like he holds the gloves up. Heel is the Sister Abigail, and the hurt is the claw.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
because it's a thing that the Fiend can use. Like, it's weird enough, and also just when you William Regal the move, what it actually is, it's not just sticking your hand in someone's mouth.
It's
You're
putting it
actually,
under their tongue.
You're putting the two fingers under their tongue and pinching with your thumb their jaw.
Yeah, you're hitting their mandible nerve.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, hence the mandible claw. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I super dug that segment. Again, they played with the music and they did. So like we were talking about last night after, where it's like, oh man, I hope they have more planned for Bray Wyatt than just
Random
Fiend.
assassinations.
And then SmackDown happens.
That's true. We'll get to that in a second. Overall, it wasn't a big disaster, but it was also just kind of there.
It was a fun. Again, it's a thing in a vacuum. It was fun,
Yeah.
but it just I don't think it does anything to truly entice anyone to tune in next week.
No, because
or to
they won't
tune
be
in
there.
on SmackDown because all of the legends aren't going to be there, and now you're stuck with all the people. Now you're stuck with all the people that aren't as good as the legends because they've had problems with properly building a star.
What about the AJ Styles throwaway line where he told Shawn Michaels, "You don't think I won't come down there? I know where NXT is."
Yeah.
And then the internet went like, "Oh, they're going to do that match." And I'm thinking like, "Well, when is the next Saudi show?"
I don't think they will because of what happened on SmackDown. Like that was a tease. The build for SmackDown was weird because it seems like we're getting a Ziggler HBK match, not a Ziggler Miz match.
Yeah.
Also, Cena was there, which he wasn't advertised for because they didn't think he was showing up, and he opened the show.
He also apparently left immediately following his segment, which, I mean, whatever. What's
He's
he
a
got to
busy
stick
man.
around for? Yeah.
Well, and apparently he's like this was potentially a very last minute thing because he's filming
He's
a
filming
movie.
Fast and the Furious,
I
isn't
think
he?
so.
Yeah.
But like he had a fun exchange with the Usos.
Yeah, that line of "you look just like your mugshots" was legitimately pretty funny, and the fact that the Usos they laughed about it, and everyone shook up. But the moment he said it, the look on their faces that
We're gonna stab. Oh no, we're on TV. Smile. Don't stab him.
I really hope that they knew about that ahead of time, where they just said, "Hey, Cena's gonna burn you." How? Just go.
Just take our word for it. He's
Just
gonna get you.
Give me the knives.
Shifts, boys.
Shivs now. All right, and then SmackDown. Oh, also the amount of people that wasn't on Raw reunion really surprised me. No Trish Stratus, no Lita. Like some of the names that you expect to be there.
They
weren't
had
there.
Alicia Fox.
But again,
You know what, Alicia Fox?
it hasn't been that long since we've seen either of them. Like Trish was in the build up to Mania,
Yeah.
and same with Lita.
And they
That's
were
true.
both in a match less than a year
But
ago.
it was the Raw reunion. If
I mean,
you're
yeah,
slapdashing everyone you can on there,
Yeah,
you know what I
it's-
mean? Like it's
yeah.
just surprising that we're not.
No, I
that
mean,
we're
you're
not-
not-
or
you're
Mickey
not-
James,
You're not wrong, but she just
Mick,
had surgery.
Yeah,
she's
she's
hurt.
injured.
but she could be there. She could be backstage drinking punch too.
Here's the thing. If I just got out of surgery, which she just got out not too long ago, I wouldn't be going to TV.
It was cool also that Melina was there.
That
Yeah, it was good.
It's
It was
been
good to see
forever
Melina.
since we've seen Melina. No Batista, which
That's not surprising.
no, because he's probably filming some other movie.
Something.
By the way, I know that the producers and the directors of the new Gears of War movie are listening to the show. Just cast Batista.
Just make the make the movie.
Yeah, and cast. Well, they are making the movie. Did you see the thing he posted? He said he has tried everything he can to get in the Gears of War movie and hasn't heard anything back.
Oh, I thought it was he's tried everything he can to get them to make a Gears of War movie, and they haven't. And he hasn't.
No,
heard
they
anything back.
are making it as far as I know.
So
I didn't know
get
that. Okay.
get Batista and get Terry Crews.
Someone
Yeah.
posted it was Batista, it was Cena, and there was someone else. And someone was like, "Oh, I only see two people," and I think it was The Rock. And he's like, "Oh, I only see two people in that picture." And someone responded to that with, "It's amazing how that joke never gets old." Batista quote tweeted them and responded with, "Yes, it does," very quickly.
Every time.
And every time they have the energy of someone that they just thought of it for the first time, and they think they're the only one. It's like, oh god.
I deal with that every day at the store. Well, I just made that. I just printed that out. That means it's free if it don't scan. Anyway, SmackDown. I didn't see much from it. I do know that the Fiend. Oh no, Bray Wyatt. Here, tell us about it. Bray
So-
Wyatt appeared.
This was awesome. Finn Balor's in the ring. He's doing an interview, and she asks him. I think it was Kayla Braxton asked him, "What do you think is going on with Wyatt? He attacked you. He attacked Foley." And Balor mentions like, "We have history. I don't know if this is old stuff coming up. I don't know if this is something new. The Fiend is clearly like demented. Bray Wyatt is out of his mind. I don't know what's going on. But after what he did, I want a match at SummerSlam." And then we get the Firefly Funhouse theme music hits. Bray comes out because it's all video. It's not. He doesn't come out live. He comes out and he's yowie wowie, and he talks about Mercy and him and Ramblin' Rabbit are huge fans of Finn Balor, and it's great. But you need to be careful because you're an extraordinary man, but the Fiend is not a man. And then he gets like super serious. He hits you with the "Let me in," and then it flashes and does the Fiend stuff after he accepts the match on the Fiend's behalf. And I love it. This is exactly what I was hoping for. I still hope we get.
Well, let's see what happens.
I still hope for now. Like what
Okay.
this is what we were talking about last night. Of it's not just a random attack.
Right.
We are now getting Firefly Funhouse Bray talking. The Fiend shouldn't talk.
yeah.
Like
Agreed.
I don't want to hear from the Fiend. I want Bray to speak for him. I kind of like the idea that they might be playing that it's two separate people. Like it is two separate people.
Yeah, this is basically this is Channel Zero,
It's super weird, but I dig it.
Which one?
the Dream Door, where she thinks up the imaginary person to defend her. She is Bray Wyatt, and the Fiend is the creature that protects him. We're
Yep.
still dealing with like PTSD.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Fiend. Bray Wyatt has created this monster to keep him safe. So it's
the
not
Fiend tall boy.
the Fiend is Tall Boy. Yeah, yeah.
So I love that segment, and it gives me a lot of hope for what we can get in the future with Bray and the Fiend.
Otherwise on SmackDown, we did get a Dolph Ziggler Shawn Michaels segment.
It was Miz TV. It was Miz TV with HBK. Ziggler interrupts and talks about how he was watching Shawn come back breaks his heart, because he could have just rode away as one of the best of all time. It's as embarrassing as watching Goldberg in a wrestling ring. It was as embarrassing as, him coming back in Saudi Arabia was embarrassing. And then there was a scuffle and Ziggler super kicks Michaels. Because
Shawn Michaels did say, he agreed, didn't he? He was like, I agree with it. It was embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, but not as embarrassing as clawing your entire career only to be known as a second-rate Shawn Michaels knockoff. And then that's what led to the scuffle. Also, it was kind of funny seeing Ziggler's ripping into Michaels, and Miz just kind of leans over, because he's still in the shot, and he just leans over to Michaels and is like, you were embarrassing. You were great. You were great. It's great. I thought that was kind of funny.
So do you think we're actually going to get a Ziggler-Michaels match?
No. I mean, this is the Ziggler-Miz feud is what this is. So, I mean, it could lead to something eventually,
but... It's a bad tease.
It's not...
Also, Michaels would win.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not even close.
Shawn really needs to grow that hair back. I don't like it. I need the hair that I saw in Avengers of Justice Farce Wars.
There it is.
I need that Shawn Michaels.
Oh, no.
What else from Raw or SmackDown? I actually don't know anything else.
Apollo Crews lost to Shinsuke Nakamura.
Water's wet.
We got the Kofi and Orton had their confrontation. Kofi challenged Orton to SummerSlam. Orton accepts. It was a pretty good promo. They brought up the Madison Square Garden incident and Orton using his influence to keep Kofi down. And Orton saying, "You're damn right, I did."
It's pretty inside.
Orton was super I like Orton. I know I'm in the minority in our group at least, and he truly. Orton exudes charisma in a way that a lot of people would kill for, and the way that he was coming across is so confident in himself and being able to just take the title whenever he wants.
Yeah,
which is what he told him, and like you could, it's like, oh no, he believes that. Yeah. Like I believe that he believes this.
Well, he kind of has that arrogant, like rich kid, super great athlete that knows he's better than you.
Yeah, and he even mentions he's like, yeah, you worked your ass off the entire time, but like, what about the 18 years I was on top? I never had to do anything that you did.
Did you say 18 years?
Yeah.
Has he really been doing this for 18 years?
Since 2000.
Yeah.
2001.
Holy smokes.
That's when he debuted.
Because I still think of Randy Orton as like a 25-year-old.
Because he looks amazing still.
He really, you know what else looks really amazing for his age? Gordon Ramsay.
Jesus.
That dude is legit.
Okay.
Lastly, Impact. Unless there's anything else from SmackDown you can think of.
There was an awkward segment with Fire and Desire where Mandy Rose told... she apparently went to Shane and said the Iconics were talking bad about him, so he gave them a match next week. But she said it was we get a tag team championship match next week, and if we win, we get a tag team championship match.
Oh, she doshed it.
Yeah, because she meant it was if they can beat.
They have a number one contendership,
which
match.
Is weird because didn't they just have to cheat to survive the Kabuki Warriors? So maybe that'll come into play next week. I think that's just something we're going to have to keep and just watch and see how it plays out.
I also read an interview today with Mandy Rose where she said that she's building a brand for herself outside of wrestling because wrestling can't last forever. And what a great attitude to have because it's 100% true.
Apparently there's WWE is taking steps to help people do that.
That's great.
They're actively helping.
Because not every wrestler ends up like the wrestler, but a lot of them do.
Too many do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of tag titles. Nothing. The New Day were on commentary all night, Big E and Xavier were, so they didn't do a whole lot. And then Bayley, so Ember Moon rolled up Charlotte in 50 seconds, and then Ember Moon planted Charlotte with the Eclipse, and then hit Bayley with the Eclipse. Oh, and then Kevin Owens versus Shane at SummerSlam. If Shane wins, Kevin Owens has to quit.
What happens if Kevin Owens wins?
Kevin Owens beats Shane McMahon.
Well, so it's not a Shane's out type thing?
No.
Damn, that would have been the... All right, whatever. Impact, and then we're going to get out of here and go eat some dog food. Fill us in on Impact. Because damn well none of us watched it.
This was, which is a shame. You need to be watching Impact. If you're listening to this, you need to be watching Impact.
And it's on Twitch. It's I don't have an excuse.
No one has an excuse
because
to
I
not
can't
be
watch Raw
Impact.
because I don't have television anymore.
Right.
But there is some excuse not to watch Impact other than I'm just so burned out on wrestling.
Impact did a kind of a weird thing. They did it was a special episode of a series of tag team matches where they paired people in rivalries. And or just it's kind of like a strange bedfellows type thing. It wasn't the Joker's Wild where it was random.
This was meant to be.
These were specific pairings. and it was there were 4 matches. The winners of those 4 tag team matches competed in a fatal 4-way elimination tag team match. The winner of that match will then go on to have a match facing each other, and the winner of that match gets an Impact Championship.
So they
match.
did old WCW Battle Bowl.
Kinda.
Yeah.
So I don't remember all of the teams off the top of my head, but it was Willie Mack and Elgin. It was Trey Miguel and one of the Chris brothers from OVE. Sawyer, Madman Fulton was in a team, but I can't remember who he was with. I think he was with Rich Swann. And then Tessa Blanchard and Sami Callihan were in a team. They were the ones that end up winning, which Trey Miguel came out dressed as Sammy and was like straight up impersonating him. It was amazing. But so it'll be Tessa versus Sammy at whatever their next like Impact Plus event is, I think is what it is. And then the winner of that will get an Impact Championship match. I think that there's a possibility that they are going to have Tessa Blanchard win the Impact Championship.
That would be amazing.
She's still the Knockouts champion right now, right?
No, she hasn't been Knockouts champion in a while. It's still Taya Valkyrie, who's doing an amazing thing where she is not defending her belt except for that every 30 days that she is required.
Oh, I love that.
So they're like, "What about your next defense?" She's like, "I defended 2 weeks ago at Slammiversary.
I got 2 more weeks."
Yeah,
it's the Lesnar rule, except she's like doing it.
Except she's showing up every week on TV.
For it, yeah.
And it's still her and Johnny E. Bravo are still together now that Johnny Impact is gone. So I think that's kind of it, which is confusing to me because I think that means they're going to have to take it off of Brian Cage because I don't see Blanchard beating Cage for it.
Minus shenanigans.
Yeah, they're like, but I think that's going to be one of the things that they had their first intergender match main event, a pay-per-view at Slammiversary, which it was Blanchard and Callahan.
Yeah,
so it's cool.
That would be super progressive.
They're doing super interesting stuff. Blanchard is she's amazing.
Yeah,
like she's one of the top people that I'm watching. Like I watch Impact for her.
It's cool to see.
They have a great roster, but like she's one of the names that is like top of the list. Like, no, I want to watch this because I want to watch her.
Okay.
You know who should have won a male championship before all of this? And I'm being legit because it was in a video game. And Trish Stratus. I thought it was so cool. I thought she legitimately could be WWE champion because there was nobody hotter at that time. Like she was on fire.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus was on fire. I could have very well seen her as WWE champion. I think Charlotte now would very well fit that category too. Tessa Blanchard for sure.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. I think Tessa Blanchard being Impact champion would be awesome. Mm-hmm. And what a way to make waves. Do something that's never been done before. Think outside the box.
Yep.
Give her a chance.
Because we had China as the Intercontinental champion. But
which was a good run.
Which was interesting, but now, but that also...
That was merely on the fact that she was bigger.
See, and that's the thing is like I would need to go back and rewatch it because it's been so long since I've seen it. But I think they still treated her more as an attraction rather than an actual competitor.
They did. She was a freak show.
Whereas Blanchard is being presented as, no, she's just such a good wrestler. She can go up against, the bigger, stronger guys because she's just that talented.
They've done well for Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah.
They really have. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us this week. We're going to get out of here, go get some oily grub.
CCW?
Oh, shit. It's not what on the list.
Oh, I just assumed you were...
I read a teleprompter.
I just assumed you wanted to talk about it.
I'm the anchor man. Yeah, no.
Because it's
so apparently CCW has a show this weekend. It's Anniversary 3 at the AC Brase Arena. And what's really cool about this, we won't go over piece by piece on the card. It's going to be a great show. Dalton is wrestling Heath Hatton. I do want to mention that.
It's Dorado Street Fight.
It's the big match in their ongoing rivalry, Cape Girardeau Street Fight. That's going to be amazing. Mikey from formerly of Roscoe Eat Lisa is going to be the special guest referee. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
I'm in a tag match with Justin the Juice Smart, the John Wick of CCW, the assassin, the number 1 assassin, going up against Damone Salavino, the Nephilim, and Dangerous Donnie 6, Justin's old mentor, legit MMA badass. I was more confident until I saw that GIF.
Good luck.
And now I'm actually sweating a little bit, and it's not just because I'm hungry and I got the meat sweats. And there's a lot of great matches head to toe on there. Jackson Crowley is going to defend against Jake Durden.
I said it on CCW Live, and I truly believe it. That is a match that if you saw it at Super Show, how amazing this is going to be.
Yes.
That's one that you are not going to want to you're not going to want to not see live.
No, and we've got a Matthew Justice will be there. We don't know in what capacity he's going to be there, but he's going to be there from GCW and a couple other very, very big promotions. Blake Christian will be back, part of a big 5-way for the title against Brandon Barbwire, of Ace Hawkins, Dexter Roswell, and
Matthias.
It's just going to be an amazing show. The big one, if not all of that is big enough, it's going to be the best of the best. Austin Lane, great friend of the show. Hollis Giroux, friend of the show. All of them are friend of the show. So
I was going to say, it's like, I love how you're...
I'm about to say, one of my like major mentors in wrestling is also in that match.
Versus Farmer Billy Hills, one of our good friends, and AEW superstar, the former Ty Dillinger, Sean Spears, fresh off of knocking Cody Rhodes half of his face off, turning him into Two-Face. He's going to be here in a tag match with Billy Hills against House 100s.
In potentially one of the last chances you will be able to see him.
In a non-AEW capacity.
Yep.
Yeah. It's going to be an amazing show. Absolutely amazing. That is this Saturday. Get your tickets at the door. I don't know if they're still on sale. They're not.
Yeah, they're not online anymore.
Tickets at the door. First row is sold out. Second row is pretty much sold out. We still have general admission. It's going to be amazing. Come see me. Come see Dalton. Come see Asa and Allie. We'll all be there performing. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can't say enough good things about CCW. Maybe one of your last opportunities to see me in CCW, because I am truly afraid that Dangerous Donnie 6 is going to break my neck. And I wish I was being like jokey sarcastic, but I feel like something terrible is going to happen.
Just tuck your chin, brother.
I'm not trained. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Asa, take us out.
Facebook.com/Podzilla1985, Twitter.com/Podzilla1985. And then the big one, of course, is Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. Just $1. You get all of our pre-shows, all of the past pre-shows we do. Every pre-show for the month, we record one, usually about 10, 15, 20 minutes, sometimes longer. Before we record everything, it's a lot of, it's just random BS rambling. They tend to be a lot of fun, though.
A lot of cursing.
And
a lot of controversy.
Also, be on the lookout for me to be on Respawn Aim Fire here in the coming weeks. I'm going to do a show with those guys. I'm trying to figure out a good way to get them on a show that we do here somehow. And then also, he doesn't know this, but he's not listening, so it's fine. I'm also trying to figure out the best way to get Josh and Alan from Press Start to Join on
Josh
something
might be
with
listening. Josh is a wrestling fan.
He only listens if he gets caught up with all of his other podcasts.
Okay,
he'll listen to PWU.
We're his side piece.
I would love.
He listens to like everything else that we do, but but since he's not a huge wrestling fan, he doesn't really.
I played Fallout 76 with those sons of bitches.
They're great dudes.
They're great.
And I really like.
We're also big fans of Press Start to Join.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of the Respawn Aim Fire guys. I met them through the Kind of Funny community. So I'm trying to get.
Would absolutely love if we got more. If we started doing stuff with other shows. I would love that.
That's something I'm going to talk to you about, because there's a push I'm going to start doing pretty soon to try to, because I got the bug now.
Well, thanks for surprising me.
Because I want to be on, because I did Press Start to Join with Josh.
You did
when
Wrestle
Alan was
Talk?
on vacation. I was on Wrestle Talk
You
last.
were on My 1, 2, 3 Cents with Dalton.
So it's like I've done like, but now like I want to go out and kind of like spread the Podzilla word, because we've had so many people like so far. Like Texas is our new number 2 state.
Right.
We've had so many of you done a great job of like spreading out and like, showing your friends and, keep doing that. Keep that up. We love that. And we really appreciate it too. But I want to go out and, so if there are shows, wrestling shows, nerd shows, anything like that, and you want to hear me on it, or I'm sure Jesse would make appearances, you guys would make appearances on stuff.
I was going to ask about that. Why I've never been asked to do any other show ever. Kevin Huntsberger, lying son of a bitch, said he was going to have me on forever and never offered. I've never been on Wrestle Talk. Press Start to Join. I think to myself sometimes, I'm like, well, it's that when my mom says I'm handsome, everyone says I'm the funniest person here.
Literally,
not a goddamn offer.
Literally, the only one that I have been offered was Wrestle Talk. And even then, I had to convince myself that they didn't think that they were messaging Ace Hawkins. Because I
remember that.
Because I'm like, who am I? No. I pitched to Josh to do an episode with him. I pitched to Respawn Aim Fire. I sat in on the Dalton interview. Like, I wasn't even supposed to be on that episode.
So you're hustling.
Like, I was just there. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm trying to do.
That mine's 1, 2, 3 cents was legit like 3 years ago.
No, yeah, but I'm saying
long,
it's like, but
long
even then, like, it's just, I was there the day and I was just like, I'll just sit in.
That's how Dalton got on this podcast.
I sat in.
That is absolutely true. Dalton was.
Why do no? Let's not bring it up.
Dalton
It
was the
fucking
lucky
works.
So
accident.
anyway, if there are other podcasts that you enjoy and listen to and think that we would be a good fit, put us in contact.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
send us stuff, or tweet at them, be like, hey, you should check out what they do at PWU and stuff like that. So
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah,
but that's something I'm going to try to because I want to get back on my 1 2 3 cents, like because I would like to do one just me and Kevin.
Yeah. Oh, I love doing shows with Kevin.
Or I would like to get back on Wrestle Talk. Like I'm going to message Renee.
I want to be on Big Lee's World.
I mean, Big Lee's World's like wherever they'll have me. Like I would like to go. Just
Southern
to,
Discomfort.
Oh, I wish they would do that.
24/7 rule. Wait a minute.
Oh, he better be suing.
He better sue the shit out of them, Osby. Get on the phone. All right, that's gonna do it for us.
Oh, because the title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought there was another podcast or something that I was just like, I've never heard of that.
we're the only podcast called Podzilla 1985. Yay!
So far.
What?
What?
All right, thank you guys. We'll be back tomorrow with After Dark. It's probably gonna be a fun show. Okay.
I wish you just would have ended it there.
Hype.
Have a good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Later.